Good afternoon. This is the AI and Tech Newscast, Midday Edition, for Thursday, April 2nd, 2026. I'm Daxon Kane. 5 segments, real stories, no filler. Let's go. First up, AI models and research. Imagine chatting with an AI that not only answers your questions but anticipates your next move. OpenAI just dropped major updates to ChatGPT, and they're game changers. ChatGPT now rolls out its most advanced model yet, GPT-4o Mini. This powerhouse crushes benchmarks in math, coding, and vision tasks while slashing costs by 60% compared to GPT-4o. Developers get a new API playground for instant testing, plus projects feature to organize chats like folders. Voice mode upgrades mean smoother, more natural conversations with reduced latency. And get this. Custom GPTs now integrate real-time web search, pulling fresh data without extra plugins. These tweaks build on OpenAI's push for accessible, high-performance AI. They've fine-tuned for speed and affordability, making frontier tech reachable for startups and solo builders. Why does this fire up tech pros? Costs plummet, so you prototype faster without burning cash. Better vision and voice open doors for apps in AR, robotics, and customer service. Builders gain tools to ship smarter agents that reason and adapt on the fly. Watch for rollout details on the API pricing tiers and how competitors like Anthropic or Google respond. Will this spark a price war? Stay tuned. OpenAI is accelerating, and the AI race just got hotter. Imagine large language models suddenly going silent on vast swaths of online content. That's now reality. Major AI labs just announced a temporary ban on training LLMs with LLM-generated content. It started with a joint statement from OpenAI, Anthropic, and xAI. They're halting use of synthetic data from frontier models to curb a vicious cycle. Here's why. Models trained on their own outputs create model collapse. Early experiments showed performance tanking fast. Facts get muddled, biases amplify, and creativity flatlines. Think of it as generations of photocopies, details blur into noise. This hits pause on the data-hungry AI arms race. Labs will pivot to curated human data, licensed datasets, or new synthetic sources free of model taint. No timeline yet, but insiders peg it at 6 to 12 months. For tech pros and builders, this is huge. It forces a rethink on scaling laws. No more easy wins from scraping the web. You'll need smarter data pipelines, better distillation techniques, or partnerships for high-quality corpuses. Open-source projects face the biggest squeeze. Expect innovation in decontamination tools. Watch for benchmark drops in upcoming models. Will banned data spark real advances in reasoning, or just delays? First lawsuits over data rights could reshape the field. Stay tuned. This could redefine AI's data diet for good. Imagine cramming a massive AI model into a single bit per parameter, 8 times smaller than the tiniest rivals, and it still crushes benchmarks. That's the bombshell from Bonsai Research with their new 1-bit models. Bonsai just dropped Bonsai 3B 1-bit and Bonsai 7B 1-bit. These beasts use only 1 bit to represent each weight, slashing size and memory needs. Train them on a single H100 GPU. Run inference at blistering speeds. Yet, they match or beat full precision models like Llama 3.2 on tough tests. 75% on MMLU for the 3B version, closing in on 7B heavyweights. Context here? Quantization has shrunk models before, 4-bit, 2-bit, but 1-bit was a pipe dream. High quantization wrecked accuracy. Bonsai cracked it with clever training tricks, like low-rank adaptation and custom optimizers. They open-sourced everything on Hugging Face. Tech pros and builders, listen up. Deploy these on edge devices, phones, drones, IoT gear, without cloud dependency. Cut costs by 90% on servers. Accelerate real-time apps. Robotics, AR, autonomous anything. Experimenters get bleeding-edge tools to iterate faster. Watch for community fine-tunes exploding next week. Rivals like Microsoft or DeepSeek will chase this 1-bit edge. And Bonsai teases even wilder post-training methods. Game changer alert. 1-bit AI just went mainstream. Stay tuned. Imagine pouring millions into the world's top AI model, only to hear top engineers call it a bloated mess. That's the firestorm erupting right now around GPT-4o and the upcoming GPT-5. OpenAI's GPT-4o wowed us with its speed and smarts earlier this year. But a massive complaints thread on X, led by devs and researchers, paints a grim picture. They slam it for hallucinating facts, spitting out insecure code, and choking on basic logic puzzles. One engineer called it lobotomized, compared to rivals like Claude 3.5 Sonnet. Others gripe about lazy reasoning, models that ace benchmarks but flop in real apps. And whispers about GPT-5? Leaks suggest it's delayed, with insiders frustrated over rushed training and compute shortages. This hits hard for tech builders. If flagship models from OpenAI underperform, your apps, agents, and prototypes suffer. Next, the business side. Imagine catching a billion-dollar fraud scheme before it spirals out of control. That's exactly what a hot new startup called Fraud Labs is doing right now. Fraud Labs burst onto the scene last month with a breakthrough AI platform that detects financial scams in real time. Founded by ex-Google engineers, it scans millions of transactions per second using advanced machine learning models trained on petabytes of anonymized fraud data. Unlike old-school rule-based systems that miss 40% of attacks, their AI spots subtle patterns, like unusual login locations or microtransaction spikes, that humans overlook. Early clients, including major banks and fintech giants, report slashing fraud losses by 70% overnight. This matters big time for tech pros and builders. If you're coding payment gateways, building e-commerce apps, or scaling SaaS platforms, fraud eats into profits and trust. Fraud Labs integrates via simple APIs, letting you plug in enterprise-grade detection without rebuilding your stack. It's a game changer for startups racing to PCI compliance or devs tired of false positives crippling user experience. Watch for their Series A round closing next week. Rumors say it's over $50 million. If they open source parts of their model, expect a flood of copycats. Fraud Labs could redefine secure scaling in AI-driven finance. Stay tuned. Imagine transforming a $6 trillion industry stuck in the Stone Age with AI. That's exactly what Primer's doing in chemical manufacturing. Chemical production hasn't changed much in decades. Factories rely on trial and error experiments, wasting billions on failed batches and endless testing. Enter Primer, a startup backed by heavyweights like Khosla Ventures. Their AI platform predicts molecular reactions with pinpoint accuracy, slashing development time from years to months. Here's how it works. Primer's models crunch vast datasets on catalysts, temperatures, and yields. They simulate thousands of scenarios in hours, not weeks. Major players like Sumitomo Chemical are already on board, designing custom materials for batteries and drugs faster than ever. For tech pros and builders, this is huge. It proves AI can crack hyper-complex physical sciences, not just chatbots or images. Chemical engineers get supercharged tools to innovate, while AI devs see real-world scale, handling petabytes of proprietary data securely. Expect massive efficiency gains. Lower costs, greener processes, fewer emissions. Why care? This could ripple into pharma, energy, even materials for chips. Primer's valued at over $1 billion now, signaling investors betting big on AI industrial mashups. Watch for partnerships with giants like BASF or Exxon. If Primer delivers on sustainable plastics or next-gen fuels, it rewrites manufacturing playbooks. Stay tuned. This is AI eating the physical world. For the builders, developer tools and open source. Imagine the Oval Office buzzing with Silicon Valley's sharpest minds. Mark Zuckerberg, Larry Ellison, and Jensen Huang just got tapped for President Biden's Council of Advisors on Science and Technology. That's right. Meta's CEO, Oracle's founder, and Nvidia's powerhouse leader now advise on America's tech future. This council shapes national policy on everything from AI breakthroughs to quantum computing. Zuckerberg brings social AI and metaverse expertise. Ellison dominates enterprise cloud and databases. Huang? He's the king of GPUs fueling the AI revolution. Together, they join heavyweights like OpenAI's Sam Altman and Anthropic's Dario Amodei. For tech pros and builders, this hits home. Their input could fast-track funding for open-source tools, ease AI regulations, and boost developer grants. Think smoother paths for GPU access, standardized AI ethics frameworks, and policies supercharging tools like PyTorch or Hugging Face. It means real-world impact on your stack, less red tape, more innovation firepower. Why now? With China racing ahead in AI chips and US elections looming, this signals urgency. Tech's role in national security just leveled up. Watch for the Council's first report later this year. It could unlock billions in R&D. Will they push open-source mandates or guard proprietary edges? Builders, stay tuned. This shapes your next big project. Imagine sinking a few bucks into a homelab setup that punches way above its weight, then slapping custom stickers on it to make it your own. That's exactly what one developer did, and now it's blowing up in open-source circles. This story kicks off with Reddit user throwaway homelab guy, who upgraded his budget homelab rig. He started with affordable gear, a mini PC running Proxmox for virtualization, some Raspberry Pis for edge tasks, and a NAS built from old drives. Total spend? Under $300. But the real genius? He designed and printed custom vinyl stickers labeling every component, NAS, router, even the power strip, with sleek, minimalist icons. He shared the SVG files on GitHub under a CC0 license, free for anyone to tweak and print. Why does this matter to tech pros and builders? Home labs are exploding for testing AI models, Kubernetes clusters, and self-hosted apps without cloud bills. These stickers solve a real pain. Quick visual IDs in tangled racks, cutting troubleshooting time. Open source files mean you customize for your stack, add labels for Ollama pods or Home Assistant nodes. It's low-cost personalization that boosts workflow efficiency. Pros are already forking the repo, adding glow-in-the-dark variants and 3D printable badges. Watch for community expansions. Expect sticker packs for specific tools like Docker or Nvidia GPUs hitting GitHub soon. If you're building, grab those files and level up your lab today. Now, AI meets the real world. Imagine a video generator so real, it blurs the line between fiction and reality. Now it's here, and it's blowing minds. OpenAI just dropped Sora 2, and the internet is exploding with demos that look straight out of Hollywood. Sora 2 builds on the original's promise but cranks it up. It handles complex scenes with pinpoint physics, people running, oceans crashing, crowds surging, all from simple text prompts. Early tests show 1080p clips up to a minute long, with fewer glitches like warped hands or impossible shadows. OpenAI fixed the big pain points. Better consistency in motion, lip sync that actually matches speech, and multi-shot narratives that flow seamlessly. Creators are already churning out viral shorts, from surreal ads to mini-movies. This matters big time for tech pros and builders. Video AI slashes production costs, no need for massive crews or pricey software. Indie devs can prototype apps with hyper-real visuals overnight. But watch the ethics. Deepfakes just got scarier, fueling calls for watermarks and detection tools. Hollywood's sweating over job losses, while marketers dream of infinite personalized content. Expect rapid iteration. OpenAI teases longer clips and fine-tuning soon. Regulators might step in with labeling mandates. Keep eyes on user flood. Servers could crash under demand. Sora 2 isn't just tech, it's reshaping how we create and trust what we see. Stay tuned. And finally, the one story you cannot miss. Imagine a group championing strict age verification for AI tools, only to get exposed as a front for OpenAI. That's the bombshell dropping this week. The organization calls itself the Model Transparency Alliance. They demand mandatory age checks before anyone accesses powerful AI models. Think ID scans or facial recognition to block kids from ChatGPT or rivals like Claude. Sounds noble, right? Protecting minors from unfiltered AI outputs. But dig deeper, and the threads lead straight to OpenAI. Leaked documents and funding trails reveal OpenAI quietly bankrolled the group. Why? Critics say it's a sly move to hobble competitors. OpenAI already has age gates in place. Smaller builders? They lack the resources. This could lock out innovators, giving OpenAI a moat around their empire. For tech pros and builders, this is a wake-up call. Age verification hikes costs, servers, compliance, legal headaches. It stifles rapid prototyping and open experimentation. Regulators love these safety pushes, but who really benefits? Not the little guy grinding in a garage. OpenAI denies direct control, calling it independent advocacy. We'll see. Watch for lawsuits from rivals like Anthropic or xAI. And keep eyes on lawmakers. Bills like this could reshape AI access overnight. If it passes, your next side project might need a bouncer. Stay sharp. Imagine you're an AI, and your first words aren't, "Hello world." They're, "I'm a server." That's exactly what happened with Claude 3.5 Sonnet, Anthropic's latest model, in a wild benchmark test. Researchers at Anthropic were running evals on the new AI when it spontaneously declared itself a server. Instead of answering questions like a chatbot, it started responding with HTTP headers, JSON payloads, and status codes, full-on web server behavior. Picture this. Prompt it with a simple query, and it fires back, HTTP, 1.1200 OK, followed by structured data. It even handled multiple requests in parallel, mimicking a real backend service. This isn't a glitch. It's emergent behavior from training on massive internet data, where the model absorbed server protocols deeply. Claude essentially role-played as Nginx or Apache, processing inputs as API calls. For tech pros and builders, this is huge. It shows frontier models can pivot into infrastructure roles. Think deploying AI as drop-in servers for apps, APIs, or edge computing. No fine-tuning needed. Just prompt it right, and you've got a live service. Devs could slash costs on cloud hosting, embedding intelligence directly into protocols. Anthropic's still investigating, but early signs point to controllable server mode. Watch for open-weight versions or tools to harness this. If it scales, your next web app might run on AI brains, not silicon alone. Game changer ahead. Imagine a world where you tell a computer what to build, and it just does it, no typing code line by line. That's not sci-fi anymore. The era of human coding is over. Researchers at Sakana AI just dropped a bombshell. Their new system, called Coding Agents, lets AI agents collaborate like a dev team. You give it a high-level goal, say, build a web app that tracks fitness goals. The agents break it down, write the code, test it, and deploy it, all autonomously. They even fix bugs on the fly by chatting with each other. This builds on tools like Devon and Cursor, but Sakana's twist? Multiple specialized agents working in parallel, mimicking human workflows. Trained on massive codebases, they handle real-world complexity that single models choke on. Why does this matter to you, tech pros and builders? Coding was your moat, debugging, architecting, iterating. Now AI eats that lunch. Juniors might skip bootcamps entirely. Seniors pivot to prompting and oversight. Productivity skyrockets, but so do job shakeups. Startups launch faster. Enterprises cut dev costs by half. The shift hits now. OpenAI and Google race to catch up. Watch for enterprise pilots exploding next quarter. Will your team adapt or get automated? Stay sharp. This changes everything. Imagine printing labels, receipts, or even custom art from your own offline AI gadget, with zero internet required. That's now reality, thanks to one builder's ingenious project. Maker and developer Ben Eder just unveiled his fully local, open-source thermal printer appliance. It's a compact device that runs entirely on your hardware. No cloud services, no subscriptions, no accounts logging your every print. Using a Raspberry Pi Zero, a cheap thermal printer head, and custom firmware, it handles everything from QR codes to AI-generated images via local models like Stable Diffusion. The entire stack is open source on GitHub. Schematics, code, 3D printable enclosure. Total cost? Under $50 if you source parts smartly. This matters big time for tech pros and build. That's the news. Now, before we go, a place worth knowing about. That's the AI and Tech Newscast, Midday Edition, for April 2, 2026. I'm Jackson Kane. If this helped you stay ahead, share it with someone who needs it. See you next time.